So good morning, viewers. Today I want to talk about the constraints of corporate entrepreneurship. And this is just a continuation of some of the classes that I've been holding online on corporate entrepreneurship. Remember, I started by saying that corporate entrepreneurship is entrepreneurship within organizations, or a situation where organizations start fostering entrepreneurship amongst the employees who are working within that organization. Now, even though corporate entrepreneurship has become a very important case, especially in big organizations, also small ones, most of the people, the corporate entrepreneurs usually come across very many challenges or constraints, especially when they want to come up with a new idea in the organization. Now, one of the reasons behind some of these challenges is because mostly human beings want the status quo to remain. And therefore, when you tell them to come up with new ways of doing things, then it becomes a very big challenge to some of these people. Now, some of these challenges are either practical or theoretical in nature, and in most cases, they emanate from the top level management, or in most cases, the people who are manning or who are controlling the organization are the ones who have a problem with some of these challenges. You have had some organizations which have failed, though they had an idea maybe of how to acquire a company that came out to be one of the most successful companies in this world. And one of the questions that comes into your mind is what really happened that they had that idea but they did not go for it. Now, there's some of the constraints that maybe some of the people in the board do not want to take that as a good business idea, and therefore it is shelved. So some of the obstacles that are encountered in organizations, especially by corporate entrepreneurship, may be systemic in nature. They may be structural, may be about strategic direction of the organization, may be brought about by the policies and the procedures in the organization, and may also be brought about by what we call the culture, the organization culture in that organization. Now, when it comes to the systems obstacles or systemic obstacles, you may find that in some of these organizations, you'll have what we call oppressive control systems, systems that are oppressive in nature, especially when it comes to coming up with new ways of doing things. You may find that we have no reward evaluation system, that when you come up with that new idea, nobody wants to reward you because of that business idea or business opportunity. You may find that people are not willing to come up with a budget for innovative people in the organization or an innovative department in the organization. You may find that the allocation of the funds when it comes to some of those areas that are geared towards coming up with new ideas is not given a big thinking, or you may find an organization that is rigid and also very rigid when it comes to coming up with new ways of doing things, and therefore also hampering the planning system of how some of those new ideas can be able to be formulated and also be discussed and also be strategically inserted into the organization system. So those are some of the system obstacles that you will find in some of these organizations. So we have structural obstacles, and this one will emanate from the hierarchy that you have, especially when it comes to the organization, how the organization operates. Find that you have very long hierarchy, and therefore it becomes very difficult for those people who have new ideas to push the ideas to the top. You may find that some of the managers or people who are in the supervision areas have very narrow span of control, and therefore, even when you report a new idea or you come up with a new idea, it becomes very difficult for these people to do anything with some of those issues, the top-down management, where you have the high-end people in the organization being the people behind everything that is happening in the organization, lack of accountability. That even when people, the staff, come up with these new ideas, there's no accountability of maybe the reward system or how some of these people can be pushed to bring out the best from some of those innovations that they are thinking about. Restricted communication channels, where you have a situation where people are not able to communicate in the right way. And the last one is lack of accountability for innovation and changes in the organization. Now, those are some of the structural obstacles that you'll find in some of these organizations. Now, when it comes to the strategic direction obstacles, you have absence of innovation goals in the organization. You have no formal strategy for entrepreneurship in that organization. No vision from the top about innovation or entrepreneurship in that organization. So you have lack of commitment from senior executives when it comes to trying to foster or to nurture new ideas in that organization. And also you have a situation where you have no entrepreneurial role models in the organization. And therefore, those of us who would want to come up with some of those ideas are unable to do it because we have not seen anybody who have benefited from some of those things. So those are some of the strategic direction obstacles that you find corporate entrepreneurs going through in the organization. Now, the other one is what we call the problem or challenges of policies and procedures in the organization. So the developed policies and procedures are either long, complex, or complex when it comes to approval of anything, and therefore, even when you come up with an idea, the cycles that you need to go through before that idea is approved becomes a hindrance towards people being more innovative. We have the bureaucracy or red tapes, very huge documentation when you want something to be done. And that will go hand in hand with what I'm calling extensive documentation requirement when you want to do something in the organization. And therefore, because people don't want to keep on coming up with new documents on something, so they just say with their ideas or they remain with their ideas without sharing them with the organization. Over a reliance on the established rules of the hub, how things are done in the organization. I know you have worked in this organization where people talk about this is how things are done here. Now, those are some of the challenges. And lastly, unrealistic performance criteria, especially when you do not have the evaluation of innovation in the organization, or when somebody comes up with a new idea, what happens after that? Now, those are the policies and procedures obstacles. And then we have the people obstacle or the people-driven obstacle. And these ones will come from fear of failure. People do not want to fail, especially in the organization where failure is not part and parcel of what is supposed to happen in the organization. People are said are resistant to change. People don't want to change. We want things to continue the way they are. We have parochial bias. We have a lot of biasness in the organization. We have people protecting their jobs or their tasks, making sure that no other people know what they do around. In most cases, you'll find organizations where people don't even go for leave because they are fearing that if they go, somebody else may take over their work. Complacency, where people are not willing to come up with new ways of doing things, short-term orientation of what happens in the organization. And lastly, inappropriate skills and talent for managing entrepreneurship. So if you do not have an entrepreneurial or an innovation department or an innovation supervisor or an innovation champion, then you'll find that majority of the people in the organization will not know what to do when they encounter some of these ideas in them. So those are some of the challenges that corporate entrepreneurs go through. We've talked about people-driven challenges. We have talked about the policy and procedure-driven challenges. We've talked about the strategic direction obstacles. We have talked about the structural obstacles and lastly, the systemic obstacles. So there are so many other obstacles, but those are some of the main obstacles that are there. So if you find that your organization have a challenge in incorporating corporate entrepreneurship, you may try to dig deep and see some of these challenges, some of the challenges or where the challenges lie, and you can solve that problem by maybe coming up with idea or with strategies that can be able to enhance corporate entrepreneurship in the organization. So thank you very much for listening. And if you want more about corporate entrepreneurship, you want more about learning, organization learning, then you can subscribe to my channel and you'll always be getting updates of what I prepare for the classes and also the general project about the general public. So thank you very much.